Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape and here are some of the reports we're filing now. The Nigerian military is currently in fierce battle with the insurgents group Boko Haram after the terrorist attack a military base in Gombe in a renewed offensive to capture the Gombe state capture. Reports said insurgents launched an early morning attack on Hina and Dadin Kowal in Yaman Deba local government area of the state, but were repelled by the military. They subsequently attacked the nearby Zambuk, but were again repelled. Latest report from Gombe indicated that troops had successfully repelled the invaders from the town. A soldier said insurgents gained entry into the barracks through a bush path around 5:30 a.m. They were said to have set ablaze the quarter guard before the federal troops overpowered them with the attendants' casualties on the side of the rebels and flushed them out by 12 noon. Inspector General of Police Sulaiman Abba has assured members of the public that the police are not under any instruction to shoot to kill during the forthcoming general elections. He also advised officers and men of the police force not to use arms during the elections unless in extreme circumstances. Abba said he is against the backdrop of claims that senior police officers are under instructions to kill as many as people as possible if any of their men were killed. Police spokesman Emmanuel Chuku said in a statement that the IGP issued a warning at a meeting with a cross-section of top police officers. IG Abba was quoted to have told his men that their operations during the elections are expected to be guided by the rule of law. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has accused President Jonathan of nursing a seat-height agenda in the postponement of the 2015 general elections. Obasanjo, who made this assertion while addressing journalists in Abeokuta, Ogun State, also compared President Jonathan's agenda to former Ivorian leader Laurent Gbagbo, currently on trial for war crimes, saying the president has a plan to cut to the electoral process and cause chaos in the country, as was done by the former Ivorian leader.
What again will look to me is that the president is trying to play Gbagbo. Gbagbo was the former president of Cote d'Ivoire. And Gbagbo made sure he postponed the election in his country until he was sure he will win. All reasonable persuasion and pleading was rebuffed by him, and he unleashed horror in that country until Nemesis caught up with him. I believe that we may be seeing a repeat of Gbagbo, or what I call Gbagbo saga, here in Nigeria. I hope not.
He also described the postponement as a decision forced on the INEC chairman. The former president says it was a sad day for Nigerian democracy.
On the INEC, because it was alleged that the security chiefs were unable to provide security. And as a result, the chairman of INEC had to postpone in accordance with the dictate of the so-called security chiefs.
The People's Democratic Party campaign organization claims that the All Progressive Congress is plotting to stimulate attacks on some of its own leaders. This, according to the ruling party, it's in a field to accusing the PDP of being responsible for the attacks. Spokesman for the campaign organization, Femi Fani-Kayode, said in a statement issued in Abuja that the opposition party plans to lay the blames on supporters of President Jonathan in order to portray the party as violent. He added that the PDP decided to raise the alarm in order to place members of the public and security agencies on notice of APC's intentions. While the All Progressive Congress presidential campaign team has frowned at the opposition of the presidency and the PDP to the use of card reader for the forthcoming elections, the party's presidential campaign team says it is a reenactment of PDP's agenda to manipulate the electoral process. APC said in a statement by its spokesman Garba Shehu that it views it as a part of a move to stampede the resignation of Professor Attai Jega before the appointment of a lackey who will stop the use of the anti-rigging device. The opposition party argues that INEC's decision was born out of the need to ensure electoral integrity and consequently insists on the use of card readers for the forthcoming elections. The party added that it remains opposed to the use of soldiers for election duties. The All Progressive Congress has welcomed the assurances from the military of its commitment to its traditional and professional role rather than being exposed to politics. The Director of Media and Publicity of the party's campaign team, Garba Shehu, said in a statement in Abuja that APC was glad to hear the assurance from the first spokesman, Major General Chris Olukolade. He said a reassurance could not have come at a better time, adding that a politically neutral armed force is a prerequisite for free and fair elections. The party's campaign spokesman also promised the military that the Buhari presidency will be committed to improving the welfare of the armed forces to enable them effectively discharge their professional and constitutional duties. And now pro-democracy activists under the auspices of Nigeria United for Democracy have held a protest march in Abuja to demand the sanctity of the new election dates of March 28 and April 11. They were joined by members of the National Consensus Movement in marching through the city center with placards. The protesters were also emphatic in insisting that card readers be used for the forthcoming election, contrary to the position of some individuals and groups. Elsewhere in the Nigerian capital, supporters of the All Progressive Congress moved around the city in a motorcade for what they tag March for Buhari. The two protest rallies went without any incident in spite of the presence of security personnel who provided security protection for them. The All Progressive Congress in Osun State says the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party is operating an illegal torture camp. Addressing a press conference in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, the APC stalwarts, including some political office holders, accused the PDP senatorial candidate in Osun East, Francis Fadahoti, of being the brain behind the illegal torture camp. The leader of the group, Idowu Korede, accused the PDP of intimidating, harassing and arresting members of the APC in Ijesha South Federal Constituency.
We have refused to react despite the unwarranted intimidation and attack of our members by the members of the rival party, PDP, because our strong belief in the ethics of our party and the concept of Omoluabi. It is against the above incidents that we seek your immediate intervention in protecting the life, we are talking to the police now, in protecting the life and property of our loyal, dependent member who are subject to threat, intimidation, illegal and unlawful arrest, almost on daily basis.
Meanwhile, the PDP says the allegation is all lies and urged the APC to report the findings to security agencies.
There's no illegal detention anywhere. It's just a figment of the imagination of the losing APC in Osun State. If they have anything to complain about, they should approach the security agencies.
You're watching the CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
I see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
only on CoreTV News.
If you just joined us, this is CoreTV News Hour at 7. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page, is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow us at CoreTV News NG. And for live streamings, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV, give a space to news. And our operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested the son of the former Adamawa State Governor, Abdulaziz, barely 2 weeks after he was declared wanted alongside his father. He was picked on Friday morning in Gombe State and immediately flown into Abuja, where he's been grilled by the investigators. EFCC spokesman Wilson Wajaran said in a statement that Abdulaziz is currently telling the operatives all he knows about illicit funds traced to companies where he has interest. The commission noted that the young Ganyako will have to explain how over 15 billion naira belonging to Adamawa State was laundered into the account of 5 companies owned by him, including oil service firm and a bureau de change. EFCC claims the funds were funneled into the accounts of the companies from Adamawa State. Accounts domiciled in a new generation bank by the account officer, well, incidentally, is the manager and an in-law to ex-Governor Nyako. It added that the manager claimed he transferred the funds through verbal instruction from the former governor for purposes which are not stated. One of the Abdulaziz companies said to own, among other investments in Nigeria, an estate in Abuja, while his father's account officer owns several properties and investments scattered around Abuja, Yola, and Kano State. A federal high court in Benin, Edo State, has sentenced one Philip Bodobri to 2 years imprisonment without an option of fine or for offenses bordering on obtaining money by false pretense and internet scam. Trial Judge Justice Peter Ojoko convinced him of engaging in fraudulent act contrary to provisions of the Advance Fee Fraud and Other Related Offences Act of 2006. Bodobri was said to have used different aliases, including Graham's Council and O'Brien Council, was prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for engaging in internet scam. He was arrested in Benin by soldiers alongside 19 others and handed over the commission for further investigation and prosecution. And now the National Human Rights Commission has warned politicians to refrain from instigating violence during the build-up to the election or prepare to face trial at the International Criminal Court. Chairman of the Commission, Chidi Odinkalo, handed down the warning while presenting a pre-election report and advisory on electoral violence in Abuja. He disclosed that about 61 cases of pre-election violence has been recorded in 22 states in recent times. Odinkalo added that 10 petitions have been received and are under consideration.
I believe none of us here wants to see a Nigerian leader end up practicing for lawn tennis in a prison cell in The Hague when we have enough lawn tennis courts here. If we don't want that to happen, then tell them, trust the National Human Rights Commission to do right by you and by our country. If they don't, we will opt out and let the International Criminal Court take control. But that will mean we have failed. It will mean we, all of us in this room and beyond, have also failed. And I think we are capable. I honestly think so. But the message must go out clearly to the politicians. If they don't want INEC and National Human Rights Commission to do this thing, the ICC and its warrants will take over. And at that time, all bets are off.
Away from that now, the Lagos State government has expressed concern over what he describes as the taking over of traffic management responsibility by the operatives of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FAMA. In a media briefing addressed by the state government, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Adekwaye, the state government described what it called uprising of the responsibility of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority by the Federal Task Force operatives. Our correspondent Abiola Luwole completes this report presented from our studios.
Amongst other things, the state government condemned the sudden repainting of roads in the state from black and white to green, white and green, and the illegal placement of outdoor advertisement by some federal government agencies.
It didn't start yesterday, but it occurred again yesterday. That is the 12th of February 2015, when we saw yet again some men and women in black uniform taking over the control of traffic at the Lagos toll gate end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
On the issue of the white and green, when this first happened in 2014, we called the attention of the Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Controller of Works Lagos, and they informed that they are not the one painting Third Mainland Bridge. That was about shortly after the expansion joint was finished. I want to put on record, we have very good relationship with the Federal Ministry of Works and the Federal Controller of Works Department in Lagos. So also we have very good relationship with FEMA in Lagos. So we then contacted FEMA. The controller of FEMA actually came down to explain that they are the one doing the painting, and professionally he agreed that it is not right. But that is the directive.
The issue about federal road is a legal matter, and I think it's very clear from what has been said that when it comes to the control and regulation of outdoor, it vests that power in LASA, in Lagos State, the same way it does for the signage agency in Abuja, in Cross River. These are PDP states. It is very convenient when they come to Lagos to say that they don't recognize the LASA laws. That's the sort of things we're hearing now.
The state government also called on the federal government to call the affected agencies to order and forestall a breach of existing laws.
In view of this, we call on the FRSC, the Corps Marshal, the Honorable Minister of Transportation, Honorable Minister of Works, to actually look into this matter, have a discussion with farmers.
With the postponement of the general elections by the INEC, many Nigerians will expect the political class to play according to the rules.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has launched an air ambulance service as part of efforts to enhance its operations. NEMA officials say the acquisition of the aircraft will ensure faster and safer evacuation of critical victims during emergency. 4 medical personnel, including a doctor, are on ground to man the air ambulance in the first instance.
We've sourced all the medical gears that are up to international standard. We've gotten all the accessories from live port support in the United States of America, and we've done with the training. So this is more like a start, a takeoff, a launching of the project. But with this arrangement now, at least we can evacuate a patient comfortably, safely, to wherever they want to. Both basic and critical, like patient to anywhere in the world. And the standard is what you will obtain. It's what is obtainable outside.
So we've been working in association with NEMA since March of last year. The training is all geared to commissioning the capability, the air ambulance capability of the Nigerian air ambulance. It's gone very well. We've selected the first medical crew during the training, a flight doctor and a flight nurse manager, and we've also identified another 2 members who go on the nurse medical panel. So we've got 3 ICU nurses and a doctor already recruited, and we'll be recruiting more doctors in the coming months.
And our cleric has donated food items to people living with disabilities in Kaduna to commemorate Valentine's Day. President and founder of Peace, Revival and Reconciliation Foundation, Pastor Yohana Diburu, said the gesture was to share love with the less privileged. He also stressed the need for governments at all levels to come to the aid of such people by assisting them with food items, clothing and shelter.
Just like a woman being, you can't do without eating, you can't do without worshiping your God. So to my own understanding, pastor cannot do such thing without identifying with the community of persons with disability. I normally use such opportunity whenever I opportune to have a chat with media that they should emulate pastor. It's not just what pastor is bringing, but identifying with persons with disability, it really makes us feel comfortable.
I love the cripples because I may find myself one day in this position. 2, as the day entails as Lovers' Day, I want to show them love. To crown it all, I want to meet with them, drink, eat with them, so that they will pray together for the peace of this country. This is the cardinal thing that brought me to them. I want to show them love as a Christian and as my neighbors. I want to show them love. And besides, coinciding with Lovers' Day, and I'm proud to identify with the day to show that love to them, and above all, to beg them. Our country is in a confusion. We don't want our country to reach a stage of anarchism. And I know God can use anybody. That is why I decided to come with them. Let's go along with them. Let's pray together. Let's ask God for peace in this country. These are the 2 cardinal things that brought me.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take another break now. We'll be back shortly with more stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And outside Nigeria now, fierce fighting continue in eastern Ukraine, which has left 2 people dead hours before a ceasefire agreed by the European leaders on Thursday is due to come into force. Mortars also fell close to the president or residence of pro-Russian separatist leader Alexander Zakashenko in the insurgents' bastion. Ahead of the ceasefire set to come into effect at midday Saturday, fierce fighting was raging across the region some 65 kilometers northeast of Donetsk. 6 multiple rocket launcher systems, several tanks and a dozen of 152mm cannons were seen heading towards the rebels' front line. Regular artillery's bombardments could be heard in the town of Golivka, some 20 kilometers from the Debal state. And it's a wrap on CoreTV News at 7 minutes. Thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Join us at 9:45 p.m. for our primetime bulletins. Thank you for watching.